So apparently this is the second video by Sydney Watson. The first one got copyright struck. So yeah, apparently she does a response thing. I watched Stranger Things. I did. I watched it back then when it came out, so we're gonna watch it. I wanna see what happens. Boom! Netflix is censoring criticism of that scene!
The question is, does this shock you? No, it doesn't. Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell. Obviously, happiest new year to all of you. Happy 2026. I hope that it is a wonderful year for all of us, filled with joy and happiness and less stupidity. Jokes aside, it has been a real pleasure and a real honor doing 2025 with all of you weird noodle people. Yeah! So many of you are so cool, and I'm so grateful for this community and for all the love and support that you've given me over the last year as we have explored all of the weirdness that's unfolded. So a million thank yous for being here and for sticking along with me on this here Hell Gondola, because without you, there wouldn't be a me. Actually, I think more specifically without my mum, there wouldn't be a me, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Now, normally I would not take the time to talk about something like this because why? But this has made me so annoyed that I thought that this time I would. So, as many of you know, the other day I posted a video talking about Stranger Things Season 5.
People wanted me to watch it,
many things that are wrong with it, or the things that I didn't like and wanted to complain about, including especially the crucial scene right before the end of the 7th episode going into the finale, where Will Byers, who is a main character, told a room full of people that he is gay. And
I've heard that all of the scenes leading up to the battle with Vecna are extremely dragged out and really unnecessary. I'm not even just talking about that I'm coming out gay scene. It's just like every single one of them.
Is an admission that's going to help him save everybody from the primary antagonist, Vecna. And yes, the clip that I'm showing you on screen is AI, okay? I can't use real clips. And naturally, because this was a very weird way of addressing someone being same-sex attracted and just where it fit within the storytelling of this episode, this was just not well received, and people all over the place, all over the political spectrum, hated this scene. They hated this moment, and thusly have been criticizing it left and right.
Yikes.
When I posted my video, I made note of the fact that I had edited my video in such a way that would avoid kicking off YouTube's copyright system, because apparently I had heard from other friends and other YouTube friends who had been talking about this and posting about Stranger Things that Netflix recently has been really hot on copyright striking and copyright claiming videos. To be clear as well, what the vast majority of us—
That sucks, because it's like, it's every right for them to do that, but at the same time, it's like you're having a transformative critique of the piece. Why are you not allowed to criticize it? That's like that's fair use.
Are doing in these kind of situations,
like even having like a 2-second clip,
or educational, or for the purposes of commentary, which in a legal sense would be covered by fair use if it went to court. So this is why a lot of, you know, studios and
drag out your ass to court,
properties and whatever don't fight with YouTubers too much, because in a legal sense you are covered because you're doing something with that content. If we were to just take an episode and upload it without doing anything to it, well, yeah, then you're breaching copyright law. Anyway, I went to a lot of effort.
But the problem is that 90% of the time when you're like a content creator or a YouTuber, you don't have the money to fight like Netflix in court, so you would never go to court. So inadvertently it is censorship, because the best outcome for you is to just basically delete the video or cut out whatever they're talking about, like the clips that they have shown, which ruins the video because you need context.
Make sure that I wouldn't get flagged in the system and have Netflix copyright strike or claim me. But I failed because they copyright claimed me anyway. And honestly, a bunch of other creators as well. This is also just to explain one of the reasons why I will quickly mention my tea company in videos, because it's like, if I'm gonna get smacked anyway and not be able to make money off of hours upon hours upon hours of work that I put into something, it's like, okay, well, at least here's the other thing that you can do to support the channel if you want to, and then I get to give you a physical thing. And so last time I said, you know, hey, if you want to support this channel and my videos,
it's good
because
to spread
this video
out
probably
your
will get
income.
copyright claimed, and it did, you know, go buy a box of tea. And so I actually set up a discount code so you can use F Netflix for
because she owns the company, she can make the code whatever she wants.
for 15% off on my tea. So go do that if you want a box. It's tasty. Okay, that's all. I just wanted to mention
it's
that.
Decent.
Now,
it's decent tea. I liked it.
Okay,
my mom let me
this
try
doesn't
it.
matter because I usually just cop the copyright. And it is what it is. But, you know, YouTube's system is so broken. You guys don't understand how broken it is.
It is.
And a lot of the times it is the creator who gets completely kicked in the face, either by fraudulent copyright claims and strikes or by ones that are just completely illegitimate. So
I'm not even talking about copyright strikes. You guys probably know the fiasco that I had. I reacted to Shoe on Head's video about the child dating app. And this is no dissing to, just for the record, this is not dissing or trying to start shit with Shu. We're cool, like we're friends, we fucking DM each other. But you have to remember how weird it looks that all of these reacts to her video got taken down for quote unquote endangering child safety. But then her video is still up, but it still got censored, and the algorithm for her video got ruined because it's talking about something that YouTube doesn't like. It's actually quite common with how YouTube goes out of their way to restrict people's, like, speech without telling them. Like, because I'm not, like, as big of a content creator as Shu, I got screwed over, and I actually got, like, a warning on the video, and they removed it off YouTube for like 5 days, I think it was. And then Shu made a fucking stink about it and said, hey, why are all these reacts getting struck? And there's a couple of other people that it happened to. Yeah, and it sucks. Like, oh my god, why are you doing this? It really makes your head scratch a little bit. Why are you hiding these people? Why are you protecting them?
Many creators get copyright claimed all the time, me included. I mean, like, I think it was maybe a couple weeks back, Vice tried to copyright claim a 2-year-old video that I appeared in on their channel that I used to talk about my experience on their platform. Like,
wait,
why? Warner Brothers
Wait, she got copyrighted on something that she was in? That's foul, dude.
So bad for this. They copyright claimed an entire video of mine not too long ago. So, you know, it happens. It is what it is. It's sort of the nature of the beast. But I think it matters in this Netflix Stranger Things case for 2 primary reasons. In the past, Netflix was one of the better studio entertainment little guys.
Netflix used to be a tiny little, like, company in America, basically exclusively in America, where they would send you DVDs in the mail. Isn't that insane? And now they own, like, Warner Brothers.
Far as
capitalism, am I right?
And actually, believe it or not, in my experience, Disney's been fine. Disney just is whatever. But Netflix was always really cool. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, seemingly in the last month or last couple months or so, it's gotten really aggressive with copyright striking people. And suddenly, out of nowhere, they're doing it for this specific show as well. It's very interesting.
It's really selective. Very interesting. I'm telling you, chat, there's no such thing as a coincidence. There's no such thing as a coincidence of all the reacts to Shu's video getting nuked off of YouTube and then her YouTube video getting algorithmically suppressed. Not flagged. They didn't outright flag her because my schizo theory is that if she got if she got flagged and got a warning and got her video removed, that would have done so much more damage to them, so they just quietly silenced her video.
It really is quite hard to get information out there these days without studios or even mainstream media trying to smack you down. And I know I probably shouldn't say like this, but I will never stop being surprised by how easily censorship takes place these days. Even when I was trying to decide the very last video that I wanted to do this year / this month, I went over to Ground News like I usually do to see what was happening. I went to their blind spot area because that is where I know there are going to be stories that are outside of my bubble, which I think is really important, just by the way. And I'm always shocked by the things that the left are covering that the right are not, and vice versa. Like this story, for example, over 1,600 people have been killed in attacks on health centers in Sudan this year, WHO chief says. This has been predominantly covered by the left when I feel like this is a story that the right would be incredibly interested in. Or this story, the education secretary asks Governor Walz to resign over Minnesota fraud. And I think this is incredibly important for the left. But I do want to show you an important example that's interesting where we do have pretty equal coverage of an issue. And this is this story, which is Bondi Beach shooting motivated by Islamic State ideology, Australian PM says. I'm really surprised by that. But if you look at the information here that Ground News is giving us, we can see that the bias distribution is the left is at 30%. The center is at 42%, which is cool, and the right is at 28%. So you kind of have a bit of an even spread there. I mean, and this is why I guess I love Ground News, because here we can see the factuality, like how well this is being stupid ones. The types of ownership, like are these independent outlets reporting on this? Are these outlets that are owned by, you know, these massive conglomerates? We can see the kinds of headlines that are being posted by both the left and the right, and we can compare and contrast. And I think that what this really does for us as news consumers is gives us the ability to make better informed decisions about what news we do and don't consume, and what we can and cannot take seriously. With everything that's going on in the world, honestly, now is the time to be the most educated, and I think the Ground News kind of bridges that gap and is so important for so many of us. So chickadees, it is time that we cut through all the spin and the noise and the crap, and so I want you right now to click the link in the description or go to ground.news/Sydney. Then I want you to go ahead and subscribe through my link to get 40%.
Rumors got demonetized that YouTube hasn't even told them what the problem is. YouTube monetization is so ass. I watched a bunch of Airsoft channels getting nuked because they don't like that the guns look too realistic, but even though they have like orange tips on them, they basically said like that's not good enough, and they completely demonetized a bunch of like smaller Airsoft channels, and the big ones remained up because those ones would create too much of a stink of it being bullshit, so they just basically repressed them. Or they quietly demonetize them. It's basically like selective moderation in order to like suppress things that they don't like. At least to me. That's what it looks like to me.
Off their Vantage plan, which gives you unlimited access. It's the same plan that I have, so that you can be a better informed citizen. And that brings me to point number 2, which is that I think it's been proven at this point that people and companies and studios and so on basically weaponize YouTube's copyright system to shut down criticism and basically to destroy a video's reach. Because in my case, for example, this video was, you know, on its way to probably 1 million views, if I'm being honest, or at least, you know, higher up there.
That's what happened to the Shoes video too. It was on its way to like getting 500K, and then it just died. Like it completely flatlines and it doesn't go anywhere. And
as soon as it got hit with this copyright claim, it kills the trajectory. It destroys it, because as a lot of you know, when YouTube can't make money, there's sort of no incentive for it to push a video out. And in my case, sometimes what happens is when a video gets copyright claimed, then you're in sharing mode. So, you know, it's crazy to me that a company could claim your video because of, you know, 10 seconds of footage that you used, and then you get nothing, no money from AdSense, even though you've put hours of work into into something, like that is insane to me. But sometimes that will be in sharing mode. So you are giving a portion of the money that your video makes to the person or entity or whatever that's copyright claimed you. But in this case, mine was just fully ineligible. So for somewhere in the realm of 25 to 30 seconds of copyrighted content, my 25-minute long video could not be monetized at all and was ineligible, which is absolutely insane.
And if you go to court, you have to fight Netflix, which is not going to happen. They're not going to release their video, and it's going to make you either bleed out a bunch of money or just have to give up and say that it's a dead video.
It is absolutely
so
crazy that YouTube operates like this. And if you don't believe—
It's not crazy. They just don't care about, like, content creators.
Me that
they
the
really
YouTube
don't.
Copyright system is weaponized by whoever to shut down whoever and to shut down criticism and whatnot. Let me remind you that back in 2024, the International Olympics Committee was smacking people down left.
My video got smacked by this. My tiny little video. My tiny, like, 10,000 viewer video got smacked for this. It was like a 4-second clip of the lady breakdancing terribly.
And for sharing videos of the Algerian boxer who beat up a bunch of women. And the insanely embarrassing ray gun breakdancing performance. And yes, I'm showing you another AI rendition, okay? Because again, I can't show you because it'll get copyrighted. The IOC was super aggressive, cracking down on criticism of the Algerian boxer. I can't remember this person's name. But also of Raygun. They were wiping these clips off of YouTube and copyright striking and claiming people who utilize them, while simultaneously letting other more positive clips play out when people shared them and not doing anything about those. And I know this personally because they copyrighted me as well, leading me to creating for you my own breakdancing performance, which is beautiful.
And her dog's like, what
so
the
I
hell?
think this Netflix Stranger Things situation is probably basically the same thing to some extent. And again, there are so many examples that we can point to of this system being utilized and weaponized against creators and, you know, used to stop information being disseminated. I mean, even recently, just again, another example I'm just thinking of, you had Amanda Stenberg, who was the primary actress from the failed show The Acolyte, and she was striking people for using that one terrible song that she wrote. So,
oh my god, I remember that. She was copyright striking like little YouTubes that had like maybe like 5,000 subscribers and it was like a couple of hundred views. And then she would copyright strike them and make it worse because they talk about it on Twitter and everybody became aware of it. It's like actually just like straight up Streisand effect.
This really does happen all the time. And trust me when I say this, if there is a terrible reception to this very last episode of season 5 of the show, Netflix is going to come down hard on people and continue to come down hard on people over this. Like, just mark my words. What should be understood here is that Stranger Things is one of Netflix's biggest shows, which means that it really matters how it performs. And because they have apparently
No, don't remind me of Game of Thrones, man. On the fight where everything's dark and you can barely see anything.
Decided to Game of Thrones themselves, it makes sense why they'd want to stop this criticism unfolding. I looked into this a little bit too, and it seems that Netflix has gone super hard with the copyright striking and claiming in the last month or so, which in my little conspiracy brain aligns with Stranger Things dropping in with its final season. I can't speak English today, I'm sorry. It's sort of funny because there's always been this really big part of me that's like, there's no way that these companies give a crap about what people on the internet, you know, talking heads on the internet have to say about the shows and the films and whatever they produce. But I'm starting to learn that apparently they do, which is so weird to consider because you have these rich—
They'll say like, oh, it's the incels that are like not liking this content and they're not allowed to criticize it. Like, you're allowed to criticize anything. That's the whole point of free speech, man.
figureheads that are, you know, moving things in the cultural sense, and then you have podcasters and YouTubers that are apparently smashing them and like kicking them in the shins, and apparently that matters. I just think that's crazy.
If I understand this correctly, there's a couple of clips on Twitter of the actors in Game of Thrones being asked, "Oh, did you like the ending of the final season?" And the actress that played Khaleesi is like, like, she didn't respond. She's like, yeah, totally, for sure. And they actually cross-referenced the reaction that she had with the Stranger Things actors as well. The actors in Stranger Things, I can't show it, but probably get copyright struck, but if you go on Twitter and you look it up, it's actually almost the same thing.
In late November 2025, just for example, the writer of The Acolyte, Leslie Headland, did an interview where she said that the show being cancelled was not super surprising to her based on the reaction and criticism from the viewership. She basically went on to blame podcasters and online personalities for...
Bro, you think normies care about what some fucking dumbass podcaster... This is unironically what's wrong with these people. They think, like, everyone that watches Asmon is, like, somehow, like, 90% of all normies. Like, yeah, sure, Asmon has a massive reach, and he's, like, a really popular streamer, but at the end of the day, normies don't fucking watch streams. They don't. They might watch a little bit of YouTube, but you have to understand, normies go to work, they go to bed, they play ball, they watch fucking sports, they play baseball, they probably have kids... They pay their taxes. They're not needs like 90% of people that watch freaking streams. They don't.
Or contributing to the failure, saying that online creators and the way that their audiences react are used as focus groups almost for what content is pursued or abandoned by studios. She added that we are heading to the point that the content being made about Star Wars will be more culturally impactful than actual Star Wars, which is like, that is a statement. And
that is the biggest glaze ever.
To have. Let's also not forget...
That is an insane self-glaze. Ultimately, Headland think we become aware that content being made about Star Wars will be more culturally impactful than actual Star Wars.
Is like, that is a statement and a half. Let's also not forget when the writers of She-Hulk admitted to creating scenes designed deliberately to upset trolls and people who were being critical of the show.
Why don't you just make a good show? Imagine you're some, like, COO of, like, you know, the show, or, like, a financial, like, bro, and you find out that this dumb bitch spent millions of dollars to, like, yeah, own the chuds. I'd be so mad.
It's like, you people are genuinely so bad at this writing.
Because it's not even funny. It's like, it didn't get people to go out and watch it. People didn't go out and watch She-Hulk. They just watched clips on Twitter for free and said, nah, I'm not gonna watch this crap.
Thing that you're more focused on taking jabs at online personalities and creators and viewers than actually making something good. But all that aside, it actually makes total sense to me that Netflix would be running cover for Stranger Things. And it also makes sense that they would want to, I guess, clamp down on and stop criticism of the primary scene, this impactful primary scene that people really, really didn't like and didn't resonate with at all. Like, it makes sense that this is where they would direct their attention. But for all of the backlash against the episode and the well-reasoned answers for why that backlash exists...
Nancy also broke up with her boyfriend and people were actually confused about the whole scene. I watched it on Twitter. There was like a clip of them. It was insanely dragged out. The script writing was really bad and the audience was left confused. The comments underneath were like all saying like, I loved Stranger Things like back in the day. I'm just confused. Like, they broke up? Like, what?
this, there are also a slew of people running cover for Netflix by claiming that the backlash has less to do with the poor writing and lazy setup of this coming out scene and more to do with the audience's rabid homophobia.
Every time, man. Every time without fail when a game gets like a lot of bad reviews, they just say like, fight back, it's not real. The bad reviews aren't real. Like, I'm sure there's people review bombing, but like, you have to understand that a large majority are not.
Stranger Things 5 fans are fighting back against blatant homophobia with the review bombing of Stranger Things 5 Episode 7, The Climb. It's now sitting at a 5.5 with 29,000 people saying it is the worst garbage they've ever seen. Well, a lot of them have been exposed for homophobia. Like blatant, it's all over the internet, that's why they did it.
The review
Can I just cite an example of like an old ass movie with I think it was Heath Ledger and Jake Gyllenhaal, Brokeback Mountain. Literally about gay cowboys. It was high rated. Nobody review bombed it because it was well written. Like, yeah, sure, people didn't watch it because it was like, oh my gosh, it's a gay cowboy movie. Who gives a fuck, right? It was a good movie, and it portrayed it like the characters in a good way. But somehow we're not allowed to criticize a fucking movie scene with a guy coming out being gay because it was really badly written and dragged out. Yeah, it won awards. Yeah, absolutely. It has like what? Let me look it up. Brokeback Mountain, Rotten Tomatoes review. It has 88% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know, you guys. I just don't think the average audience in 2005 is homophobic, and they would have they hated this just because there's no gay cowboys in it. I don't know. It's kind of an insane take, right?
bombing of episode 7 season 5 is not just because the episode is bad, but mostly because of homophobia right now.
Scary how many homophobic people there still are in this world, because why did you watch the full Stranger Things show and you're on the last episode they're going to ever make in a series and you're mad that the kid that's been gay the whole time is now coming out as gay? And it's like, you could be like, well, there was no gay shit before this and now they're just being all gay. Robin has been lesbian the entire time she's been a character. That was her whole character arc in her first season that she was in.
Again, these people genuinely do not seem to understand why the broader...
They didn't watch the same show. The writing got worse as time went on. What are we talking about?
Population are upset.
I'd have to rewatch it, but like...
By and large, nobody cares that Will is gay. The reason why people are upset here is because the crucial, most important movement of the episode amounted to Will telling everybody, hey, I have this giant secret that's keeping me from stopping this horrible, terrible bad guy.
Wouldn't they have review bombed her then? Yeah, it's almost like the writing was good and people didn't care. I know, what a concept. It's not homophobia, it's not the phobia. Oh, there's no way.
It's that I'm gay. It was just ill-timed and inappropriate and uncomfortable as a way of coming out. And honestly, I was talking about this with a friend earlier. They probably could have had Will come out during an episode of this season, and it probably would have made a couple people go, ugh. But it, by and large, probably wouldn't have had any type of massive overreaction if they'd done it appropriately. So, just quickly as well, on the point about Robin, yes, everybody knows that she is same-sex attracted as well, but the thing here is that Robin being gay wasn't the central part of her personality. There's lots of other things about her that she does and says that she's good at that make up Robin as a human being. She just so happens to like girls as well.
The movie about two gay cowboys centered around them being gay with each other had 82% positive reviews, 250,000 ratings in 2005, and it had a tomato meter of 88%. People didn't care because it was well written and the actors were doing a really good job too. Like, Heath Ledger's an amazing actor. Like, it's the lead up to the Stranger Things finale that sucked, And to top it off, the writing has been going downhill since probably like season 3. Like I want to say when the Russian base was happening, I thought that was when it was like falling apart. It had a few good scenes here and there.
They address, it is what it is, and then everybody moves on, as it should be. These people just irritate the crap out of me.
I'm seeing so many people on this app saying, oh my gosh, Will's coming out, shouldn't have been a part of the storyline. I'm not understanding why it's a part of the storyline. And my consensus is that you're just homophobic. Like, literally since season 1, they have hinted that Will is gay. Granted, do I think that he should have had a coming out story in the middle of doom and gloom when Holly could have been-
Yes, that's actually another really good point. So it's a really intense like scene of like everybody being like, oh, we gotta kill Vecna, we gotta do something. And it's just this, I wish I could show it to you, but it's like, it's not, you have to see it for yourself. It's not well written, and the actors, I just think they could have done a better job. I think the director didn't do a good enough job of directing them. Yeah, it was like, we're all gonna die. By the way, guys, I'm gay. It's like, okay, that's cool. Awesome. Amazing. Good for you. We're gonna die.
Killed at any second, and Vecna could have collided the world at any moment. Probably not.
Yeah, dude, this was the issue that everybody else had.
The pacing was just bad.
I guess that makes you a homophobe as well. Lucky you. These really aren't arguments so much as they are just mechanisms designed to shut down and curb criticism and conversation. And lucky for Netflix, there's a ton of people doing this right now online. They think that the rest of us have no valid reasons for disliking a scene or a moment or an entire season of something, and therefore we must all be giant balls of raging hatred. This is very unfortunately a common tactic that has been employed not just by random people on the internet, but also by showrunners and directors and writers and whatnot over the years, who have, rather than taken criticism and used it to grow and make good things, have instead turned around and called audiences all sorts of names, including fascist and racist and...
And the worst part is that Stranger Things had a very broad appeal, so like all the people that just didn't like it because it had bad writing, who genuinely aren't like homophobic or anything like that, they get lumped into the pile by everyone, and it creates a worse divide and a worse feedback loop for people that like are like, hey, I just don't like it because I think the writing really fell off. It makes it worse. You're like actually just punching yourself in the face.
Homophobic. Because there is no more effective way to stop criticism than to decide and determine that your entire viewership are a bunch of verbal gay bashers.
Yeah, like if someone in my stream came out and was like, Alana, I've been watching you for a long time. I think this opinion is dumb. And then like I immediately just resort to little chatter. It's because I'm a woman. It's not like just listening to myself, like thinking about this hypothetical scenario. It's like, that sounds so dumb to me.
So I feel like in the long run, this is probably not such a great business
He's bullying
strategy.
me because I'm a woman.
This is such a massive issue in the entertainment space right now, where you have audiences and viewers telling these studios and responding to the content that's being shoved down all of our throats, and we're saying, hey, this is not what we want. We don't like this. Could we please have something else? Could we please have something that aligns more with where all of us are at in society? Could we please have things that are less political and maybe have really great storytelling? And rather than listening to that and taking it on board and employing some of the things that audiences are saying, instead the sentiment is to name call everybody, ignore and reject the criticism.
It doesn't like actually do anything. It just makes people more pissed off.
And proceed as these studios and writers and whatever have always proceeded. Or if you are Netflix, you just censor anybody who's got anything negative to say. I obviously do not think that every person involved in creating a film or a show has to bend to the will and the whim of every single audience person out there. Well, I guess they couldn't do that, but you know what I'm saying. Broadly speaking, I don't think that they have to bend the knee to what audiences and viewers want at every opportunity. Although they do that a lot when it comes to the left, and that's obviously not working. working. But with that said, if somebody is committed to making great entertainment, then I don't see why they wouldn't listen to the broader population and what they are looking to consume. Stranger Things is probably not nearly as bad, really, as Game of Thrones, because they completely threw that final season out the window, but it's really not much better. So far, everything that
I think the story in Game of Thrones is worse. But the Stranger Things script writing is worse because it was all dragged out. Every single scene leading up to the latest episode was just dragged out. The actors, like, it felt like they were just, like, repeating the same shit over and over again. But with Game of Thrones, you still had really good acting and, like, scene settings and stuff. Also, the CGI in Stranger Things has really fallen off recently, too. I saw another one where they're comparing where she's, like, running through the, you know, through Vecna's mind space or whatever, through the Upside Down. And, like, you look at the CGI in season 3 and 4, and then you look at it side by side with, like, this season, and it's, like, a million times worse.
Scene has been wildly
the lighting
disappointing.
Is terrible.
The entirety of season 5, at least to me, has felt like one giant filler episode, and it's sad that they have sort of trivialized what was once a really fun and entertaining show. Netflix trying to censor
like
the negative response to this is not terribly surprising, and it's also not terribly surprising how the majority of people criticizing Stranger Things are being called some level of ist or phobe. Obviously, this won't be the last thing that I have to say about Stranger Things season 5, because there is a last episode that all of us get to go and watch now, and Lord knows what that's going to be like. But as far as the censorship goes, and as far as the not listening goes, I really do think that Netflix is going to continue down this road, and unfortunately, I think that we are going to see more and more seasons and shows.
I think one of the reasons why things are so blatantly obvious and, like, you know, they look at the viewer like they're stupid is that there's this syndrome going on with script writing in the last, like, 5 years where people like to sit on their phones and watch a show instead of just watching the show. And they have to, like, reiterate the same thing over and over to, like, make the audience pay attention. That's, like, an actual thing with Netflix shows now. It didn't used to be like that.
And in the same way that
might be why the scene writing sucked.
I don't love that. Once again, children, I hope you have a wonderful new year. Be very safe. Thanks for tuning in to the last video of the year from little old me. I will see you guys in 2026. Go watch the Stranger Things episode. I'm sure that by the time I post this, it'll be out. And yeah, be good. Make good choices, kids. Now, on that note, and before I open the floor to all of you, this is just a reminder, check out Ground News using the link in the description. They have been a longtime friend of this channel. I really love everything that they're all about, and I think that they are very beneficial if you are looking to break out of your own echo chamber. Now I open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? Are you on my side of this issue where you think that studios are utilizing the copyright system to strike down criticism?
100%. And then people also like to fake music as well. If you have music that's quite popular, people will maliciously copyright strike you by creating AI to, like, copyright strike you by uploading it. It's very common. It's not just corpo borpos, it's like idiots that just want to make a quick buck off of you and then ransom you for money.
Do you think that, this is probably just them trying to protect their IP, and it makes sense that they're doing this? Are you somewhere in the middle where you can see both sides of this issue and how both sides are probably correct? What do you think of Stranger Things? Do you think that they've gone down a weird road, and it's just bizarre that we've ended up here? Have you liked the way that this season has gone? Have you already watched the finale and you've enjoyed it? What did you think of it? Are you somebody who thinks that these crazy people calling everybody homophobes are in fact crazy? Do you think that they're right? Do you think that they're wrong? And what do you generally make of this issue overall? As always, if you have made it this far in the video, congratulations. Like,
I wish we would just go back to the days where it's like, oh, well, you know, you think this sucks? Oh, that's fine. This sucks. I want to club you over the head instead of this, like, fake ass, like, oh no, you're a homophobe. Just tell me my opinion sucks or that I should off myself. I prefer that.
Always like having
that
you along
seems
for
normal
the full ride.
enough.
If you are new here and you're not subscribed already and you would like to see more of me and more of this kind of content, feel free to subscribe to the channel, as well as leaving this video a like and a comment, because I do read the majority of them and I like hearing your feedback. I've already said it about 90 times, but again, have a fantastic, wonderful new year, chickadees, and I will see your wonderful, pretty faces in the next video. Happy 2025 going into 2026. It's gonna be a fun year.
Oh yeah, I hope so. Oh boy, that was a good video. Woo! I think there's scum and criticisms and attack how self-centered can you be? Well, it's gonna fail then. It sucks, but it is what it is. When I see someone saying I suck, I usually want to see, like, why I suck. Not like, oh, Alana's a Nazi or a Russian spy and like she's bought out by the KGB. That's not an argument. If you want to say like my opinion sucks, that's totally valid and like how I'm wrong. Cite your sources. Say like I'm wrong. Maybe I can change my mind. Don't just like just straight up be like, you're wrong. You're wrong. This is wrong. No, you're wrong. You're racist. You're Nazi. It just automatically makes me dismiss your argument, like, immediately. I'm not even gonna try and, like, talk to you because you're already mad. If you're this emotional, like, the first, like, interaction we have over something that you disagree with me over, I don't know, man, it's a you problem. I'm not mad when I talk about this stuff. I might say I'm mad, but I'm ultimately pretty, like, surface level. I'm just like, you know, like, it is what it is. I'm mad because it sucks, but, yeah. You're wrong because I said so. At least say why. It's because you're a woman. True. Women.